Hello, hello, hello. So, as we've said this many times, but it's certainly coming upon us very, very, very soon. I have a very clever friend, Yossi Banashevitz. In fact, I would consider him a genius. So he said, nothing has changed. Moses came to the Jewish people. He says, guys, we are getting out of exile. And so first there's initial euphoria, then it doesn't happen, then it dies down, and then it happens. And so the Rebbe, our Moses, has said, we are getting out of exile. In fact, there's an amazing prophecy, which is that the year that the Mashiach will come, a Persian king will hit an Arab king, which happened obviously in Elul right before Rosh Hashanah was attacked from Iran on Saudi Arabia. And amazingly, they won't attack back. They'll go to Aram, which is the west, and ask what to do. And everybody's worried, and the King Mashiach says, humble ones, do not be worried. The time for your redemption has arrived. So this is the year that Mashiach will come. So this means Mashiach is about to come, but Mashiach, it's very important to understand something about Mashiach, is that ultimately, who did God make the world for? He made it for you, right? It's not like Microsoft that decides, okay, I'm going to make a program. So there will be users, and probably the users will want this product, that product. First, God had the end result. He had you, and then he built the world around you. Quantum physics shows this quite clearly. And so we are the people that God made the world for. And so then the question is, so what are we meant to be doing in this world? And if you know that, you understand everything that ever has, is, and will be. That is, we're meant to basically be mature. We're meant to discover what is the purpose of life. So you have to have freedom of choice. You have to have a lot of basically stupid people that are just kind of not thinking. Can't blame a lot of them. They're just kind of in survival mode. Then you have prosperity in certain countries, and those people are free to think, and they have the ability to think. And then they say, okay, so what's it about? And once you open your heart, because that's the key, only in humility can you receive. If you know reality, you can't discover it. And if it's about discovering and then integrating and then transforming and then doing that process again, then it takes a certain sense of humility. And perhaps part of what we're going through is that initial stage of humility, or maybe the final stage of humility. The world's gone through a lot of humility. Final stage of humility, which is going to bring us to the perfect space, just like the Jews right before they were actually redeemed. They had some extra work, extra issues, and that extra humility brings us to the consciousness space in which all the infinite blessings that are about to come, we're talking infinite blessings forever, these blessings are they're going to come to the humble heart, the heart that can receive it, that will be appreciative, not that will take it and say, oh, because like the Alter Rebbe says, there are two types of well, he says like this: if you give a humble person something, he becomes more humble. Very profound. I know some people that are very humble. So whenever you give them something, they're like, thank you so much, though you really didn't have to, and they're so appreciative. But if you give somebody like, I don't know, that's spoiled, they think they're entitled, or think they're special, something, they're like, yeah, they deserved it. And so if you give an arrogant person something, it makes them more arrogant. So God needs us to be the humble soul that can receive his infinite blessings. And so right now we're in the final moments. And if I had to speak to you directly, heart to heart, which I'm coming from the Lubavitcher Rebbe, I've studied much of his wisdom, so I know his words. And the Rebbe would say to you very clearly, as he said many, many times, there are two things you have to do. The first thing is you have to understand that Mashiach is about to come. Raise your consciousness out of the mind trap that you're in, because it's just a mind trap. The whole world is really infinite. every atom really is infinite. Just kind of when it pops into existence, it comes into a finite state. But the intrinsic nature of reality is infinite, and nobody can even fathom what that means. Infinity, we can't get it. So raise yourself out of the finite perception that you and your people have been born into. Understand that the infinity of Hashem is about to come, and doesn't mean to leave reality because of this heightened consciousness. It means to actually go down into reality and say, okay, so who can I call today? Who can I help today? Now that I'm feeling better, now that I'm not depressed, now that I'm feeling enough energy to be motivated, what extra good can I do? Because that good is the final good that is necessary to bring the infinite redemption.